I know that in this day and age, it's a luxury to have multiple gaming capable devices, like this one, and this one, this, and this. You get the idea. I don't want to be here all day saying this. What was I saying again? Oh yeah, the Steam Deck is definitely a luxury device. Good morning, people. Today on Game Tested, we have an original LCD version Steam Deck. You can get these for as low as sub $300 on the used and refurbished market. All items I mentioned throughout this video can be found in the description below. The question that some of you may ask is, do I use a laptop and controller as my only source of portable gaming? Or do I splurge and get a Steam Deck to take over those gaming duties? But if you're on a budget of $400 or less, your options might just be one device. If you choose the laptop, it will be great for work, fun at home, and kinda fun on the go with a lot of hassle.
A few moments later.
Or the Steam Deck, that's fun at home, fun on the go, and zero work. Don't let any other YouTubers fool you. You can get no work done on this 7-inch Linux device. Trust me, I tried and failed. I still have a headache from trying to read this tiny screen. Comment below if you're one of those people that was thinking, maybe I could use this as a laptop replacement and get some work done while I'm gaming on the go. If you are, let me help you out with some realism. It not gonna work. Come at me in the comments if you disagree.
It doesn't matter what you think!
I'll be testing it with a good mix of games, and at the end I'll tell you what it's been like using this handheld for the past 8 months. And I can tell you from now that this won't be one of those greatest handheld ever opinions. Some of you may even cancel me for it. But before we get into the testing, let me ask you a question. I want to know if any of you have my sickness.
This is a sickness of the highest order.
Write me a list of every gaming capable device you have. While you get that done, let me tell you about what's going on inside this handheld. Inside the Steam Deck LCD is a custom 7nm AMD APU running on the Zen 2 architecture, and it goes up to a 15W TDP. It has 16GB of LPDDR5 RAM running at 5500 mega transfers per second. The version I have here has a 256GB 2230 NVMe SSD. For communication, it has dual band Wi-Fi with Bluetooth 5.0. It has a full ABXY gamepad with these two trackpads, one on the right and one on the left. They both have built-in haptic feedback and are useful for games that may need mouse and keyboard support or desktop mode. On the inside, it has HD haptics for rumble and a 6-axis gyro to detect motion. On the back are 2 programmable back buttons. For ports, on the top side we have a combo headphone jack, an internal mic, and a display-capable USB-C port with power delivery of up to 45 watts. On the bottom is a UHS 1 SD card reader. The screen is a 800p IPS panel with 400 nits of brightness running at 60 Hz. And for the OS, it's running SteamOS, which is a branch of Arch Linux. I'll be turning on disable frame limit, allowing tearing, and turning off the TDP limit. This is not the norm for my regular playtime on the deck. These settings are absolutely horrible for battery life. I just enable them to show the full performance capability of the Steam Deck. Normally, most games I play would be locked to between 30 to 60 frames, depending on the title of course, and I would leave the TDP limit at 15 watts so the game would determine how much power it needs depending on the frame rate. I ran the 3D Mark V Strike benchmark and got a score of 2947, but I don't think it's representative of the actual performance of the deck because the benchmark runs at 1080p, but the deck can't run at 1080p because the screen is just 800p. Hollow Knight was a walk in the park for the deck. It got an average FPS of around 270. I could have raised the graphics fidelity much higher, but I don't see how it would look much different with the game having a black and white color palette. GTA 5 looked really good at 800p normal settings on the Steam Deck screen, running at an average FPS of 70. Spider-Man Remastered maintained a respectable frame rate of 45 FPS. I have to commend Sony for this port, as it's a joy to play on the Steam Deck. Overwatch 2's frame rate was all over the place, dropping as low as 50 and as high as 120. This is one of those games that would benefit greatly for setting a frame limit, but it's still nice to see the Steam Deck is capable of pushing 120 FPS in certain areas with this game. F123 was a solid performer with an average FPS of a little above 60. I ran the Black Myth Wukong benchmark. With it being a new game, I wasn't so sure Steam Deck could handle it, but it pushed out a consistent 38 FPS. Now let's get into the juicy part of the video, my actual thoughts on the Steam Deck. I have a like-dislike relationship with the Steam Deck. I like that I can be playing games, and if something suddenly comes up in real life, I can just simply press the power button to put it into standby. And when I'm done with real life, I simply press the power button again and I'm right back where I left off.
Honey, I need you in the bedroom.
I dislike the reports I'm seeing on the internet of if you let the Steam Deck run out of battery while in standby mode, which may take many days depending on your battery level, it could permanently brick your device. I'm not sure if Valve has fixed this issue with new updates. Let me know in the comments if you know of any updates on this, but I'm not taking any chances, and I have to remind myself to shut down at the end of the day. I like that this is the most comfortable ergonomic handheld I've ever used, and you can play it for hours without hand cramps. The button placements are perfect, and it feels just as good as holding a DualSense controller. I dislike that it's thick and large.
That's what she said!
It's fine to have around the house, but it's far from ideal when you have to make space for it in your bag or suitcase. Also, playing for a while, especially when laying down, will put your hands to sleep. I like the console-like ease of the SteamOS and the fact that you have access to desktop mode. That allows you to install other software that can't be found on Steam. I dislike the jankiness and unpolished nature of Linux, where to install some software you have to be messing around with command lines and scripts. It's bad when you have to Google how to install something. When on Windows, I'm used to just double-clicking on exe. I like that they gave us a capable USB-C port that we can use for docking to connect peripherals and displays, as well as power delivery. I dislike that to get a seamless docking experience, you have to get a dock that supports the Steam Deck, like the original one from Valve or a third-party one from JSOX. I have other third-party docks that I can get display out, but no audio. It seems that is caused by not having driver support in Linux. I like that it has 2 trackpads for mouse support. That's useful for some games that require it in the menus and for desktop mode. I dislike using these trackpads. They're not as smooth and precise as a typical laptop trackpad. As a result, I usually use my i4 mini keyboard, especially in desktop mode. Because of everything I've just said, the Steam Deck has been relegated to a stay-at-home handheld console that's primarily used for light gaming and game streaming. My original thought before I purchased it, of it being more an all-in-one device, has gone through the window. It's not a tablet replacement. Using this screen for reading text or navigating with trackpads or typing on the touchscreen is a pain. It's not a laptop replacement. This might rub some of you the wrong way, but Linux is no bueno for me. And getting some of the critical software I use to install and function has been a pain, and as I said before, the screen is not ideal for reading text. And lastly, it's not as portable as I thought. This is a big boy and it takes effort to carry it around. But at the end of the day, these are all first world problems. And the Steam Deck is still the best device for what it was made for. Having your Steam library in the palm of your hands. Thanks for watching another review video. Remember, all items I've mentioned throughout this video can be found in the description below. Also remember to like and subscribe on your way out. And don't forget to thank God for this life and thank Jesus for giving it a purpose.